Why was he allowed to be let out?
Survivor and advocate Kaylee Kozak finds herself asking how someone repeatedly accused of violence against girls and women was able to remain out of custody.
At what point are these agencies or these county attorney's offices held liable for these humans, these innocent people that are violated at the hands of someone who has such a heinous record?
Court documents say Maricopa County deputies found the missing Utah girl after she told a family friend on Snapchat she was being held against her will. After she was rescued, that girl told investigators she was raped, choked, forced to take pills and cough syrup, and prevented from leaving. And according to these records, Armando Sanchez-Lopez even recorded some of the assaults on his cell phone.
It's very clear that he has a very consistent MO. So he's already shown us the type of crime that he is willing to commit and that he's going to continue committing that crime.
Court records outline several previous investigations. One case accused him of sexually assaulting a vulnerable 20-year-old woman he met on Snapchat. Another accused him of drugging and sexually assaulting a girl. A 2024 case accused him of raping a former girlfriend after drugging her too. And another accused him of strangling a girlfriend and stopping her from getting medical care after.
Specifically for survivors or people that have been sexually assaulted, when they see and hear about cases like this, it really creates a distance in trusting the judicial system.
Kozak says repeated delays between investigations and prosecutions can also create dangerous gaps where offenders remain free.
It's just kind of tossing the baton between the county attorney's office and the agencies and just adding more time. And while that's happening, offenders like this one are out committing additional crimes.
Sanchez-Lopez remains in custody tonight. He was expected to be in court today to be formally charged, but that's now been delayed until next week. Investigators say the case remains open and active as they continue reviewing more evidence in the other cases. Of course, we'll keep you up to date as this case develops. Reporting live in the newsroom, Alexis Dominguez for Arizona's Family.